Welcome to Into Pittsburgh. It's a very special show today because we are celebrating the 3rd year anniversary of Into Pittsburgh. And to celebrate, we are bringing back the 2 original guests from our first show, Scott Wolovich and Dan Steiker from New Sun Rising. First up is Scott Wolovich. Scott, welcome back to Into Pittsburgh. It's great to have you on this very special edition.
Thank you so much for having us back.
I wonder if you'll take us back and tell us a little bit about New Sun Rising and tell us what you've been up to for the last 3 years.
Sure. So New Sun Rising, we started as a grassroots supporter of projects, individuals, people in communities that really just wanted to see good work happen. We started developing different programs and services to help support them. And in our infancy, we served primarily as a fiscal sponsor, which really allows nonprofit projects to access grant funding and really reduces some of their administrative burden so they could focus on the good work. After about 10 years, the last time we actually were here, we had started putting together more programs to work more intentionally with underserved communities. And that really began the journey and the trajectory of our last 3 years, which has been one heck of a ride.
Now, we've had not just you on the show, but we've had, I call it 6 degrees of separation from New Sun Rising on this show. Many of the people and the organizations that we have featured on this show have gotten their start thanks to New Sun Rising. How do you find such good people here in Pittsburgh, and how do you get them started?
Yeah. Well, they're everywhere if you're looking, and I think a lot of it is around expressing values that other people share. So the more we've matured and understood our organizational values, and we've been able to express those more clearly, I think others that resonate with those same values and intentions have been more willing and able to come forward and find ways that we can work together. We like to say that there's experts in every community and that the community really is the expert. So for us, it's really about being intentional about being grassroots, being accessible, reducing as many barriers as possible so that folks can access our services in a way that's meaningful to them.
So you've selected several different neighborhoods to work in. What are the types of, well, first, what neighborhoods are you working in? Mm-hmm. And what are the types of services are you bringing to those communities?
Yep. So we have 2 of our services, fiscal sponsorship and our vibrancy funds, are actually regional. So we do have folks throughout the Allegheny County region, even outside of the county, that benefit from those services. Our Vibrant Communities framework, which is a framework that helps to build communities through culture, sustainability, and opportunity, we're really focused right now on Millvale, the Hilltop, South Hilltop in particular, Allentown, Belts Hoover, and Knoxville, Wilkinsburg, the Stowe Rocks communities, which is Stowe Township and McKees Rocks, as well as the North Side.
Great. You have kind of put down roots as well in Millvale. 3 years ago, I think you were thinking about the old Moose Lodge. Tell us where you're at with that project as well.
Yeah, so one of the great things that's happened with this grassroots development and very bottom-up organic building of communities is that in some ways we're building the demand for a building or for some sort of support before we actually have the building under ownership. So that was the story in Millvale. We started this launch incubator for food services and food businesses. A number of them, upon graduating the incubator program, needed food storage facilities. They needed processing facilities. At the same time, we were growing as an organization and started looking for space ourselves and just happened to come across the Moose Lodge. We walked in, huge open floor plan, and of course, 1,000 ideas came to mind, and a great collaboration was born that allowed us to purchase the building, and we're in the midst of building that out now.
So who's going to move in with you in the Moose building?
Yeah. So right now we have, there's about a dozen office tenants that come in. So that's New Sun Rising staff of 5, the Frac Tracker Alliance. There's a law attorney who focuses on sustainability work, Ryan Hamilton, Sarah Enamorado, and the Food Trust, which is actually out of Philadelphia and has a local establishment here. So we have about a dozen people that come in every day. There's a number of other folks that come in and out. You know, we're sort of creating a community around the space. The additional tenants that would be primarily food tenants are 412 Food Rescue and Sprezzatura, which is a cafe caterer that's going to be located within Millvale and is another graduate of our Launch Millvale program.
So I'm sure there are people in these neighborhoods that are looking to get things off the ground. What are the type of people and projects are you looking for? And how could they get in touch with you if they're looking for fiscal sponsorship? Maybe explain how that works with your organization.
Yeah, so there's a lot of on-ramps, and that's one of the things we try to do is create a lot of on-ramps into New Sun Rising. We have our programming separated into 3 general areas based on the stage of development for an organization or for a community, and those are Ignite, Launch, and Grow. So we run through Ignite, we run a number of workshops that are smaller commitments for people. They can meet mentors, they can get connected to different resources, develop their plan. We run some small funding pitch competitions around that. Launch is more of our 12-month program. That's an incubator. That's where we actually work with the specific communities that we outlined. Right now, we just closed our applications for the Launch Still Rocks program, so we have a cohort that's actually up and running there. And then we're most excited recently to bring on, our team has grown over the past few months. We've brought on Zaheen Hussain, who's our Director of Sustainability now, Jamie Johnson, who is our Manager of Performance Improvement, and then also our Director of Opportunity, who's Lee Solomon Pugliano, is really now managing the 3rd stage of our programming, which is our Grow programming. So we've done a really good job, as you had mentioned, in sort of surfacing and finding leaders from a grassroots standpoint, folks that have ideas, just want to kind of get things started. We developed these launch programs to help develop some of those concepts, and now we're able to provide more support through the Director of Opportunity in the growth stage. Those are consulting opportunities. They're also leadership development, helping with fundraising, getting people connected to professional services that they need to grow and scale their organization.
So it really sounds like you filled out your staff to support your mission. 3 years from now, when we have you back on Into Pittsburgh, when we celebrate another anniversary, what can we look forward to from New Sun Rising?
I wish I had that crystal ball. 3 years ago, I'm not sure I would have predicted where we're at today. It's been a pretty sharp trajectory, really, and I think it's just the emergence of a lot of different trends that are happening, nationally, globally, both, and here within the Pittsburgh community. So, we wrestle with this a little bit, which is, we think one of our advantages in being a smaller, nimble organization is that we can be really responsive and adaptive to this changing climate, which is, the cycles of what's happening are monthly and quarterly at this point. So we want to retain that. But what we also want to do is grow the impact of our work and scale it to more communities and more people. So how do we infuse that thinking and our programming into more people, but also maintain a size of staff that can still be entrepreneurial in the way we do our work and innovative.
So how can people find New Sun Rising?
Yeah, so newsunrising.org. We're also on all of the socials, so you can tweet us, like us, and the such. So, and info@newsunrising.org is the easiest email to reach us at.
And what might be some events coming up that people could engage with you?
Yep. So we have a Next week we have a networking event that we started called Ecosystems, which we really want to make this intersectional opportunity for people, culture, sustainability opportunity, partners, friends, folks we haven't met yet, to come together and explore intersections and ways that they can be working together. We're also about to have the deadline for our launch culture grants, so those are coming up at the end of the month, and we're moving into both an Ignite and launch program around sustainability.
Great. Well, thank you, Scott, for coming on into Pittsburgh once again. It's our pleasure to have New Sun Rising and get that update, and we're always happy to see the projects that come out of you and end up on this show as well. So thank you for coming back on.
Thank you for the invite, and congratulations on 3 years of Into Pittsburgh.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank my guest, Scott Wolovich of New Sun Rising. And it's your turn now. If you like this show, hit that like button on Facebook or on YouTube and leave us a comment in either place. I'd like to also thank PCTV and all the donors that make this show possible. It's your turn to share your idea with me. If you'd like to do that, you can hit me up on Twitter at CSWhitlatch with the hashtag #IntoPGH. And you can watch Into Pittsburgh as part of the community block on PCTV on Monday nights starting at 7 p.m. Thank you. This has been Into Pittsburgh, and I'm Christopher Whitlatch.